Good evening and welcome into Nightcap with RhinoMan. I'm your host, Tom, RhinoMan, but Tim will be joining us very shortly. I have a couple of beers here to make him come out. Guys, if you're in the background, come in, say hi to me right away. We're going to get this show kicked off. The guy that we have coming on, you guys know, CowboySlots. If you don't know who he is, you're going to find out tonight because let me tell you, this guy has exploded in the past 6 months, and we'll talk to him pretty soon. First, as I do, I have 3 questions for you. First question, could you live 100 miles away from anything? And I mean anything. You're here, everything else is 100 miles away. Could you do that? If you can, give me that thumbs up. I want to know if you could do that. And 100 miles, that includes casinos, guys. Question number 2, how do you feel if you had a casino all to yourself? Meaning, pretty much it's your own private casino. You go in every day. They say, hey, what's going on? You're here. The casino's open just for you. Nobody else is in there. We're going to find out about that too. Third question. Glad you guys have come in. Glad to see the thumbs up. Want everybody else to come in. Love the shirt, bro. If you guys don't know, I figured today would be the absolute best day to wear this shirt. The Casino Cowboys, Sister Yoshi, and the Yoshis got this for me. Appreciated it. Yoshi has the same one. So does Lou from Chris and Lou Slots. Hey, we had a fun time when we were wearing them in the casino. Appreciate that. And we got another cowboy in the background we're going to bring out real quick. So question 3, and I'm glad I see him in here. How do you feel about Randy the Slot Wizard? Hey, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I love Randy. You got my thumbs up, Randy. Anyway, those are the 3 questions. The new subs to the channel, as you see the banner going across the bottom, I'm going to announce them as soon as I see them coming across. Oh, yeah, Slots. He snuck in. He unsubscribed and resubscribed so he could be there. Hezekiah. Hey, thank you for joining, brother Hezekiah. Rocco. I shit on you 1 and 1 for you to see. Young G and JJ Walker 1. Appreciate you guys being in the channel. New subs to the channel. Who's in the house today? I see quite a few people in here, and I'm glad you made it in. Sister Yoshi, of course. Danny D, the Cool Scratcher fan. Randy, the Slot Wizard. Thank you for coming in. Yoshi Slots. Let's see who else is in here. SoCal today, Florida tomorrow. They will be an upcoming guest next week. Appreciate you guys coming in. And Danny D, the School Crusher fan. I said it again. If you guys are in the background, DJ Starman 69 Slots, thank you for coming in. And there's my man, NJ Slot Guy. Thank you for being here, bro. Really appreciate it. So let's get him on and we'll have him introduce himself. He is in the hot seat today. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you? Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hey, not a problem. It's my pleasure. I'm just as excited to get to know everything about you as I'm sure you are to probably tell us what's going on with you. Can you do me a quick favor and just introduce yourself to everybody out there?
Yeah, of course. So my name is Brantley. I started the Cowboy Slot channel in February. Former slot tech, and really, I know we'll kind of get into it a little bit more, but just kind of started the channel for fun and did not expect it to even become a channel. So it's crazy how quick it's grown in the past several months, and now I'm cranking out more videos every day.
Hey, that's fantastic. Great to get to meet you. Little Dutchy is in the house. Stacy a Slot Channel's in the house. Gamble B Slots is in the house. Tracy the Ace. Cheers. Love you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Okay, we're going to jump right into this. As we do the show, personal questions first. We're going to get into gambling after, and then your channel last. However, I think your channel's going to take the cake with this one because of what you've done in such a short period of time. Yo, Ange, thank you for coming in. So where do you live?
So I live in a really small town in Wyoming. It's a small town called Kemmer. We have a population of right around 1,000 people or less. And as you mentioned in your first question, yeah, it's about 100 miles away from anything. So We don't have an airport. We don't have any mainstream commercial establishments. So we don't have a McDonald's. We don't have any shopping. We don't have anything. That's all about 100 miles away. So it's really, really small, but it's really quiet.
Okay. Really small, really quiet. Are you a true cowboy?
I get asked that a lot, and yes, I do own horses. I've got
Okay.
two. I've got my buddy Fry and Goombay. So yes, I do.
Okay. To 100, I'm just thinking 100 miles from anything. Hey, Brad, thank you for coming in. Uh, Cowboy is the fastest growing channel. Yes, he is the fastest growing channel, and we're going to talk about that, NJ Slot Guy, because I'm gonna get through these personal questions real quick, and we're gonna find out how fast he actually grew. So you're a real cowboy. I think of cowboys, and I think of farming, and I think you're 100 miles away from anything. Do you grow your own food? Do you do any of that, or are self-sustaining, or do you have to plan and make trips to the store and get out there?
It's a little mix of both. So we do have to plan and make trips to the store because the grocery store is probably about hour and a half, 2 hours away. So we do have
Wow.
to plan for that. But mostly around here and in this town, everything is really reliant on hunting, which hunting season is coming up in October. So what
Okay.
most people in the town do is, they'll go out and they'll hunt for their deer and their elk, and they bring it back and they freeze it, and that gets through the winter. Because a lot of times, especially in the winter months, because we don't have any interstate near us, we just have
Okay.
one road into the town and one road out. So a lot of times during the winter, that road will shut down because the state can't
Wow.
plow it fast enough with all the snow. So yeah, we have to backpile our food quite frequently.
Wow. So you got a freezer in the garage, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Um, Hey, that's all good. Are you married? Do you have kids or
I am married. I don't have any children. No,
okay, not yet.
not yet.
Okay.
Maybe later.
Um, so Wyoming, have you always grown up in did you grow up in Wyoming or did you move there or
I actually did not. I grew up in Indiana. I spent most of my life in southern Indiana, which is where I grew up and was born and raised. And then I
okay.
moved to Wyoming about a year ago.
Okay. Yeah, Stacia Slot Channel says time for Randy to invest in a cowboy hat. I would agree 100%, Stacia. For sure. Okay, so you're married. How long have you been married? If you don't
I've been
mind.
married. Actually, we got married on 4th of July weekend last year, so we've only been married a year.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Great. How does she feel about you doing your YouTube channel?
They're very supportive for sure.
Okay.
You know, they don't like to be in the videos, but they're supportive.
Okay. Do you come from a big family?
Really, I don't. I've got two brothers still back in Indiana, but relatively small family.
Okay. That's all good. Um, Real quick, who do you work for now? Do you work for any casino currently or
No, no. If
okay.
I worked for a casino if I did work for a casino right now, I couldn't have the channel.
Okay.
Which I've been actually offered a job position at casinos, and I've turned them down just because I can't have it with this channel, obviously.
Wow. So Cal today, Florida tomorrow. Thank you so much for the 1999 super chat. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so you what do you do for a living?
So right now, I mean, YouTube is taking up the bulk of my time.
Okay.
Before doing YouTube and before actually starting the channel, I did a lot of modeling work. I did some modeling for a tactical body armor company, which was really cool. Those photos were really awesome to be able to take. And then currently, I work as a code inspector for our city.
So, okay, code inspector, but let's go back to the modeling thing. You did modeling
I
for a
did. I
body
did.
company.
Yeah,
Hey, are you going to post any of those on your community tab?
I could post one. Yeah.
Yeah, I see people in there. Meow, cowboy. Definitely. I would like to see that. I mean that's pretty awesome. If you
For
didn't see
sure.
my thumbnail earlier, that was when I was working out. That's pretty much what I looked like. COVID sort of hit me a little bit hard. So I had to trim down just a little bit there. Um, Take us through a typical day for a cowboy, Cowboy Slots.
Typical day for me. Well,
Yeah.
now in recent months, it's been, wake up, roll over, look at my phone, check all the, channel analytics, answer as many questions as I can, answer emails, think of new video ideas, and then pretty much spend the rest of my day outside and then come back in the evening and do it all over again.
Okay. Now, when you say outside, you're 100 miles from nowhere.
Anywhere.
What do you do?
We do. I mean, around here, I spent past couple of days up in the mountains, which is really nice. I just go up there. We get to hike around. Sit around by the fire, have some beers. It's fishing, hunting, all of that. Just
Okay.
peaceful.
Okay. That's all good. Um, we're gonna jump into the gambling now. How did you get started gambling?
Oh wow. Well, when I was probably 12 years old, I actually snuck into a casino. Snuck into a casino when I was about 12, and I was mostly just fascinated with how the machines work. And pretty much my entire life has been just more fascinated with how things work and how they break down. And as I started to get older, I purchased my own slot machine, and that's kind of what got me into it. And then when
Okay.
I purchased my own slot machine from there, I actually teamed up with the guy that sold me the machine, and he actually worked for a major slot manufacturer. So I kind of got
Okay.
under his wing and started to learn a lot more about machines from him. And then from that point, got into the casino industry, started working for the casinos, and then started my own retail store where I actually, bought and sold these slot machines, and I did repairs on them for people. And we had a pretty large operation going at the time. And then after that, I worked for a couple more casinos, and now I'm doing YouTube. So,
Wow. Wow. Okay, so let's get a couple of important questions out of the way here.
yeah,
409 Slots wants to know what your favorite beer is.
my favorite beer, I like just regular Budweiser, not Bud
Okay.
Light, just regular Budweiser.
And I am a Corona guy, if in case you guys
Yeah,
didn't know.
I know Corona's got to endorse you. We got to get
Yeah,
Corona endorsing you now.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Every single episode, I have to do that. Real quick here, I see 5K Grenade is in the house, dropping a $50 super sticker. Thank you, bro, for
Awesome.
coming in. Really appreciate it. Hey, the plumber's life it is. I love it. Thank you so much. Okay, so your favorite beer. What are you drinking right now?
Right now, just drinking some water. That's
Okay,
it. Nothing,
H2O.
nothing too excited right now. Just drinking some water.
Okay. Did your parents gamble when you were younger? Did you guys ever go to Vegas? Did
Actually, no, they didn't, which was
Oh,
kind
really?
of crazy. It was something that I don't know where I got it from. I just kind of fell into it on my own. I've always been fascinated by the casino industry, and one of the things too, which also kind of helped lead to the creation of the channel, is the casino industry as a whole has always been surrounded by such mystery, and a lot of that has to do with how the industry came about and got started and has been run for several years of everything is behind this veil that nobody can see, and so that there's that mystery aspect behind it. And
Yes.
I remember when I first started getting into the casino business, I personally thought, oh, I'm going to work for the casino, I'm going to get to see all the secrets and everything. And when I got there, I realized that all of these secrets and mysteries, it's really just a bunch of crap. So
Yes.
it's like all of these myths are just that, they're myths. And um, you know, actually knowing what goes on in the casino behind that curtain, you can come out and now I can share it with you guys.
Yeah. That and that part's awesome. Now, when you when you were selling, when you sold machines,
Yes.
and you got to know from the manufacturer's perspective, did that help you at all? And I guess the other question, the overlying question is, did you go to school to be a slot tech, or is it some knowledge that you built up by experience, hands-on, working with machines, and so on and so forth?
Right. So there's no actual true school for being a slot tech. Normally, what happens in our case, you go, you get employed at the casino. So by the time I got my first job as a slot tech at the casinos, I had already built up significant tech knowledge that I could pass proficiency exams and so on and so forth that I had built up from my buddy who worked for the manufacturer. And then once you get into the casino as a slot tech, they will send you to specialized training for each individual manufacturer or a new game or so on and so forth. Because a lot of the trainings are very different, for different manufacturers and different brands of machines. So there's not really one school per se, but the casinos do send you off for specialized training.
Obviously. Real quick, Jackpot Jesse's in the house, and Tracy the Ace. She wants to know she could buy a machine. Holy Christ! I'll never have to leave the house. Um, yes, yes, you can, and maybe we'll get you in touch with him so that you can buy one from him. But Jackpot Jesse wants to know. Ask him about Oklahoma casinos.
Okay, so really quick, I'll touch on the first message about buying the machine. So I don't sell them anymore.
Okay.
However, I still offer resources on my website for if people want to buy them. They just can't buy them through me. I don't have the supply of them to sell anymore. But yes, you can own your own slot machine and you can buy one for your house. Just always check your state. That's what I always tell people is you got to know your local regulations and laws and so on and so forth because that's really important. As
Well,
for yeah,
real quick before we get to the Oklahoma casinos, on that note about buying a slot machine, I heard something, and it could just be rumor, whatever, that you can't buy a machine that's newer than 20 years old.
it
Is
depends on your state. So
okay.
it depends on your state. So each state has their own rules and regulations. So, like for
Okay.
example, in Arizona and Nevada, you can have any machine you want to. So
Okay.
it really just depends. And I think it's also kind of funny. So we live right next to Utah. Utah is one of only two states in the United States that does not allow gambling at all. There's Utah and Hawaii. Those are the only two that have no gambling whatsoever. However, in Utah, you can own your own slot machine. It doesn't matter the age or anything. There's no restrictions on it. So I think that's really funny that
Oh, nice.
they pick and choose that. But I don't think gambling will ever come to Utah. So that's why we've got Wendover and we've got Wyoming and we've got great casinos here in Wyoming too. So
Okay.
yeah. And as for Oklahoma, so here's the thing. I have been wanting to come out and I have never gambled in Oklahoma ever. However, I hear so many great things about WinStar. And we've got, I'm good friends with Stacy from Stacy's High Limit Slots, and she goes over to WinStar all the time. So I've been planning to make a trip down there hopefully soon, probably this year. But when I do, I will absolutely make sure to tell everybody so that they can join me and come over and meet me and we'll play some games together.
Yeah, definitely. DJ Starman. I would like to get out there. I heard that casino is absolutely amazing. Um, DJ Starman 69 wants to know you which type would you prefer to play? Type 2 or type 3? Which is better? Slot
So
machines.
I'm assuming that you're referring to the classes, class 2 or class 3. The answer is definitely going to be class 3. So the biggest difference between those is, you have the class 2 casinos, which the class 2 is more common with, the bingo based facilities. So any class 2 game is going to be bingo based. And I know there's a lot of Indian tribes out there that use that, not all, but there are a lot. And I know Oklahoma is one of them. And the issue with class 3 is you're not playing against you versus the slot machine. You're actually playing with everybody else on the floor because you're essentially playing one big giant game of bingo. The slot machine is just there for decoration. Whereas class 3, which is majority of the casinos in the United States, you're playing against you versus the machine. So I think your chances are a lot better with a class 3 as opposed to class 2.
Okay. Tracy the Ace says, oh my God, I have no type and no class." Hey, there you go. You could keep it like that. Um, I'm sorry, my dogs are throwing me off. I got some big dogs, and they are going crazy right now. How often do you make it out to the casino to gamble?
I try to go about once a month, maybe twice a month. It all just depends, just because our casinos are so far away, and really travel is the biggest obstacle, especially out here. Um, just because everything is so incredibly far away. But I try to make at least one good trip a month out there, sometimes two. And then I'll occasionally plan ahead for Vegas, which I'll be in Vegas for the Global Gaming Expo, October 10th through the 13th. So I'll be there for that. That's my next
Hey,
planned Vegas trip.
hey, I think that I'm going to be out there around that same time, and I think NJ Slot Guy, if I'm not mistaken, will be out there. And Top Dollar Mike is in the house. Thank you going up. Thank you for coming in. Really appreciate it. Slot Sisters in the house. 5K Grenades in the house. Everybody else is starting to come in now. Really appreciate you guys showing up.
It's
Um,
awesome.
so home slots fun. Thank you for coming up. Penny D's in the house. So you're going to be out there for the G2E, which is going to be
Yep.
awesome. I went out there last year, got called away at the last minute, didn't get to the gaming floor, was truly disappointed at that, but looking forward to that this year. And I believe Gambling Granny is having her event, Granny Fest, around the same time. So I'll be out there for that as well.
Hey, maybe we can all
So
meet up.
hey,
It'd be a
I'm
lot of
looking
fun.
forward to it. Hey, yeah, we could be the Casino Cowboys,
There we
uh,
go.
without a doubt. Okay, so you had mentioned to me earlier, we had talked earlier that you have a casino that's well, I want to say not far from you, but it is far from you. However, it's your own private casino. Can you explain that to everybody?
Well, unfortunately, it's not my own private casino, but so here in Wyoming, we do have a lot of small, like little gambling spots. I know we have a small chain here called Wyoming Downs, where it's they're very small buildings, and they've got only a very small number of machines. But there's a lot of times, especially here in Wyoming, and a lot of people don't realize that even though Wyoming is such a large state by land size, we're actually the smallest state by population. So I think our entire state's population is maybe 250,000. It's really, really, really small. So a lot of
Okay.
times with these casinos, and there's some casinos that I frequent that I'll go into, and there have been several times where I have been the only gambler in the entire casino, or maybe one or two other people. So there's a lot of casinos out here and that's why I tell people, I say, come on out, because a lot of these casinos, they have very, very high payback percentages, and they're very good casinos, and they do have everything from low limit to high limit. And a lot of times you've got your own basically private casino just all to yourself when you go in. So it's pretty cool. I like it.
Hey, that is absolutely awesome. One, that you could go there and it's open range. But how does the casino feel about you filming there, about you recording and everything else? Because I know a lot of the India casinos or smaller casinos, they don't want you recording. We all of us run into that problem. Oh, you can't record here. Stop doing that. There are few casinos that are really supportive. Kino Warriors, thank you for coming in, that are really supportive. Like I said, High Winds Casino, they will give you a tripod if you need a tripod to film. That's how supportive they are. How is this casino with you?
All of the tribes here, all of the tribes here and the casinos here in Wyoming have been extremely, extremely supportive. When I first called, because we always want to call ahead and ask for permission and just see what their policies are. They're very excited to have YouTube channels come in. In fact, like the one of the casinos that I go to, when I go into film, they're like, "Oh, if you've got any other channels or any friends that you want to bring in, please do come in. We'll turn the music down for you. You can, film whatever you want. Go right ahead. Come on in." So they're very, very cool about it. Which is phenomenal. I mean, there's not a lot of casinos like that, but here in Wyoming, they're very welcoming
Hey,
to YouTube channels.
that's awesome, guys. If you want to go film in Wyoming, get out there. They want you to come and film. That's how casinos should be, in my opinion. That's how they should be. Free advertisement. You have people coming in, spreading the word, getting it out there. Robert Kaczynski, thank you for coming in. So yeah, I mean that's what you want in a casino. Is that your go-to casino for filming, or?
Now it is, yes. There's a couple different casinos that I go to, but there's two main casinos that I go to here in Wyoming, and both of them have been very, very generous, very nice, welcoming. They have no problem you coming in to record at all, and that's where I tend to go now. It's a lot closer than Vegas for sure, and their machines are actually a lot better. We've got, like I said, we've got all denominations of the machines here. We've got everything from penny up to $100 slots, and old slots, new slots, everything. So there's really no reason for me to make a really long trip anywhere when I can just stay here in Wyoming.
Gary Smith, no, this is not Brokeback Mountain number 2. I appreciate that though. So I thought that would have came from Robert Kaczynski, but he beat you to the punch, Robert. Um,
And Brokeback
so,
Mountain is not a real place here in Wyoming. It
hey,
is
there
not a
you
real
go.
mountain.
It's not a real mountain for sure.
Nope.
Um, so I want to ask you this about gambling, because you have been on both sides of the fence, so to speak. Meaning, you were a slot tech, you worked on machines, you've seen the insides and outs of what goes on behind the casino. You've been inside the magic room with the big button that they press to make all the machines win. Um, but as a gambler, how do you gamble knowing what you know, and being just on the floor as somebody that's just gambling?
Well, and that's a good question. And actually working in the casino industry, it really has opened my eyes to a lot. And I really do look at the casino floor differently. So when I'm looking at a slot machine, I'm not looking at the lights and everything else. Like I'm looking at it as if, okay, do I remember working on this machine? How does the programming act on it? Stuff like that. And it really has, because now, I go in and there's only like a select few machines that I'll play because I know them and I'm comfortable with them. And a lot of
Okay.
these newer machines, I won't play them just because I know how they are. So, yeah, it does change you a little bit where, I'll look at some machines and I'll be like, I'm not gonna play that. Not at all.
Uh, I'll get back to that. Casino Warriors, we hope to grow and hopefully do an interview one day. I'll do an interview with you right now. I'll reach out to you after this, or reach me on Facebook Messenger. I'll set something up for sure. I like getting to know all channels. Doesn't matter the number of subscribers, it matters about the creators themselves. And that's why I do this. So, yeah, I will definitely reach out to you. Don't even worry about that. Um, so, you mentioned something. You will look for the machines that you worked on in the past, to play them. Is there some kind of regulation you can't play the slots that you worked on, or
Well,
is that?
obviously not in the same casino. So,
Yeah.
and typically with casinos, the ones that I've worked at in the past, you have a 1 year ban after you leave employment. So you're sever after you sever your employment for 1 year. You can't come back to that property. I don't live in the same area now because obviously I've only lived in Wyoming for a little less than a year. So I don't live in the same area, but even when I go to a new casino that is new to me, that I'm unfamiliar with, I'm still looking for the same games that I know and the same game, stuff like that. And those are typically,
Okay.
and I usually tend to stick with the same, the low volatile games, the old school, the straightforward, limited or no bonus kind of games. Everybody knows, if you watch my channel, pinball is one of my all-time favorite games. I love that game, and I play that all the time. Always have good luck on it. And actually, here in Wyoming, we do have the pinball slots, and every single time I have played this machine, I've hit a jackpot. So that the casino that I go to here in Wyoming is actually the only casino that I have a 100% jackpot rate of. I always come home with a W2G, and it's the only
Hey,
casino I've ever been to that is like that.
and that's that small casino, right?
Yep, small casino.
Hey, hey, there you go. For whatever it is, it's working for you. Casino Warriors have a question. Kino Warriors have a question for you. do you ever go to Colorado to play?
Colorado's not that far. The last time I played at Blackhawk, but it was several years ago, so it hasn't been any time recent. But it's not too far. I think Blackhawk's maybe like 6 hours away from me, so it's definitely in the plans. I would like to get down there for sure. Maybe meet up with some other slot channels, have some fun down there. I think it'd be a good time. So I haven't been recently. I have been in the past, and I do plan to go back.
Okay, fantastic. Tracy the Ace says her employer usually bans her too. Just saying, we know why they ban you, but hey, I'm sorry about that, Tracy. Um, but I think we've all been banned at one time or another by our employers. Just saying, some of us drink too much. Um,
No, it's standard procedure, and it's standard procedure in the casino business of once you sever your employment, you have to there's a certain waiting period. And every casino has their own policy. One of the other casinos that I worked at actually would allow you to come back and gamble and play. You just couldn't gamble in the department that you worked at.
okay. So you had mentioned to me earlier Stars and Stripes. You're very familiar with that machine.
Yep, the triple stars.
Triple stars. Stars and
Yep.
stripes. I'm sorry.
No,
The
you're
triple
good.
stars. So do you go and search out those machines when you go to the casino, if you know one there? If you
Typically,
see
yes,
one.
I do. I know every time I go to Vegas, if I go to Bellagio or Aria or anything, triple stars is always there's two machines that I always hit on. Number one, when I walk into a casino, I'm looking for triple stars and I'm looking for pinball, and that's usually where I start.
Okay, fantastic. Randy the Slot Wizard has a question. Would you rather gamble or listen to RhinoMan talk about me? Hey, that's a
I don't
that's
know
a
the
tough
answer to
one,
that one.
Randy.
I don't know the answer
That's
to
a
that one.
that's a tough one. So there's so much that I guess you see behind the scenes. What are some of the common misconceptions aside from that button that's in the room that people ask you about slot machines?
So obviously the button in the room, I tell people all the time. I think I've mentioned this on one of my live streams before. If I were to give you a tour of that secret back room in the casino, you would be very disappointed. It's really not as exciting as people think it is. And no, the magic switch and the magic button does not exist. Period. It doesn't. I don't know what to tell you other than that it doesn't exist. But I think the biggest thing that I hear from people is people always have a lot of the same questions, and they always come, they'll come to me, or, they go to other channels and they ask, oh, does a player's card affect this, or does this happen, or does this happen? And one of the things that I stress to people too is, these casinos are people just like you and I, and they'll happily answer your questions. A lot of people, for some reason, think that they can't talk to the casinos, or, like the casino managers are untouchable, or the gaming commission is untouchable. And actually most of the information is very well public. You can go, all you got to do is ask. So I tell people, don't be afraid. Next time you're in your local casino, if you want to know some more about it, just grab a manager, pull them aside, and ask them some questions. 9 times out of 10, they're willing to talk to you about it.
So Slot Sister wants to know if the casinos in Wyoming has franchise casinos or if they're tribal owned.
So they're all tribal owned. So in the state of Wyoming, we only have 3 actual casinos. There's only 3, and they belong to 3 separate tribes. And then we also have Wyoming Downs, which is privately owned. And Wyoming Downs is a franchise, and they're kind of all over the state. And those are the horse racing based games. And then we also have skill games in a lot of our bars. So we have actually 3 different types of gambling here. We've got class 3 gambling, which all of our tribal gambling here in Wyoming, it is class 3. So nothing is server based, nothing is bingo based. It is all standalone units and class 3 gambling here in Wyoming. And then we also have the horse racing machines, plus we also have the skill based machines. So we've got all 3 types of gambling here in Wyoming.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you could take your pick. How have you done on the skills games?
Really good. Really good, actually. So we only have we've got one little bar here in our town. It's called Grumpy's. And it's a really, really cool bar. Normally I go in there and it's usually me. And so they have two skill slot machines there in the bar. And it's normally me and then the same lady that she always comes in and plays. And we'll go in and we'll grab a drink and we'll sit there and play them. And typically I'll bring like $300 with me into the bar. And I mean, I've walked out with 2,000 one night, and typically speaking I can walk out with at least $1,000. So they do really well. And that's one thing though, is the same goes for the casinos as well as the horse racing and the skill games. We do not have a high volume of people here in Wyoming, so our casinos and our gambling has to adapt to that. So whereas in Las Vegas you might have payback percentages in the 80s, here in Wyoming it's like 95 plus. So Wyoming actually has great gambling. So if you live in Utah or if you live in Colorado, Idaho, any of that, make a trip to Wyoming because it is well worth it, especially if you're a high limit player.
Hey, I'm not a high limit player, but I want to go to Wyoming anyway.
Yeah.
Just to hang out with you at your private casino. I'm just saying. DJ Starman 69 wants to know, can the slot machine playouts be changed on the fly?
No, they cannot. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions. And actually, to even taking it a step further, which is something that we don't, I haven't really touched on a lot on the channel, but it's something that I'm really touching on more and getting into. A lot of people don't realize. So I worked for, out of all of the casinos that I worked for, and of the slot department and everything, these casinos actually never change their odds ever. There's not a reason to. So there's many casinos that when they bring the machines in, they program them, set them, put them on the floor, and they're good. They sit there for 20 years. They don't ever mess with them or change those odds. So, but as for can they be changed on the fly, the answer is no, they cannot in a class 3 facility. Now, class 2 facilities are a little bit different because you're not changing this particular slot machine. You're basically playing a game of bingo. So if they wanted to adjust the bingo server, they can do that. But as for changing the odds on a slot machine, in a class 2 facility, again, it works differently because it's bingo based. But in a class 3 facility, no, that does not happen, and they don't do it.
Okay. T-Town Gamblers in the house. She says, hello, Cowboy and RhinoMan. Thank you for coming in, T-Town. Okay, so now there has to be a guaranteed way to win on slots. Is that out there? I mean, you've worked at both places, you dealt with manufacturers and you worked in the casinos. Tell us the trick. Come on, don't hold back.
So, all right. So I'll tell you the trick. And this is something because we had when people came in, we used to joke around a lot. When people would come in and they say, "Hey, where is the guaranteed best machine that I know for sure 100% guarantee I'm going to win on?" We all point to the ATM. There is no guaranteed guarantee to winning at slot machines, period. It's gambling. It's gambling at the end of the day. There are things that you can do to better your slot play. And it's really mostly just being observant and paying attention to the machine that you're playing and the game rules, and knowing your facility that you're in, if it's class 2, if it's class 3, if it's tribal, if it's private, all of that, taking that into account, you can better your chances, but there's still never a guarantee.
Well, you mentioned it in the beginning where you said ATM was the guaranteed winner.
Yep.
Not the Randy the slot wizard. We send him over there all the time, and he comes back with his hands up like that. I'm just saying. Tracy the Ace, it's not a guaranteed winner for him. Tracy the Ace wants to know, what is a skills game? Can you break down what a skills game is?
So essentially with a skills game, what it is so you spin it and the machine will bring up the result. And then what you have to do is you actually have to tap to make a winning pattern. And then some puzzles, they're not called puzzles, or they're not called spins. They're called puzzles, which is weird. But essentially it brings up a new puzzle on the screen, and then you have to select a square to essentially make it wild. Now, sometimes there's no winning combination at all, and other times there is. And you can have you can select the wrong square. So that's basically kind of the gist of a skill game, is you kind of have a little more control over it, but still at the end of the day, I mean, you can still win or lose on it, just like a regular machine.
Joe S., thank you for coming in. Rains World Las Vegas Slots, thank you for being here. She says, I think we've been lied to. Sorry. It's like the government. There are dark forces at the top. They are not honest, and they are evil agendas, just not letting the people know what's really going on. Can you tell us what's really going on?
So here's the thing. I mean, the casino kind of did this to themselves. Obviously, when gambling first started and when the casino industry first started back in like the 1920s or, something crazy like that, there was so much mystery, and there was so many, you had organized crime, you had all of this, really negative, bad stuff going on. And that basically established the image. It's not like that today. There are so many protections, and there's so many people in the ladder just to do anything at the casino. I can tell you this: when you work for the casino, you can't sneeze the wrong way without having surveillance, security, your supervisor, your manager, the commissioner, everybody else just breathing down your neck. They have so many, the casino is so micromanaged. There's not just one person in charge, and they do so many safeguards. Like, for example, the keys to actually change the machine, the casino actually does not get to keep or have those on hand. They're at the Gaming Commission office, and they have to file a report to check out the keys to change anything on the machine. And then they have to explain to the entire board as to why. And then it takes days to get approval and days to get those keys. So, when we have people saying like, oh, they can, they're going to change the odds for lunchtime. No, trust me, it takes a long time to do that and to actually get those materials. And, I can't blame people for feeling like that or for thinking like that, just because, obviously when you're dealing with gambling is always a chance. Either you're going to win or you're going to lose. And then if you lose, then you start having all of these things of, oh, the casino's out to get me, or something's, something fishy is going on. And really, that's not the case. It's just gambling.
Hey, you're absolutely right. And I said it in the show yesterday. Slot machines are on the top on the top 5 of the worst odds on return in a casino. Blackjack's a much better odds on return if you're playing and you're an educated player and you know exactly what you're doing. Slots are not. Why do we subject ourselves to going in and putting slots? Because, hey, that's what we do. We enjoy doing it for that chance to win. Obviously, it's not guaranteed. There's no guarantee. A lot of the channels out there that say they have something set for you to win if you buy their program, everything you could learn online for yourself or here.
Exactly.
What do you feel about people that say the machines are tight where they're cold?
Again, the machines don't change, and that's the problem. Is we've got some gotta love those spam messages.
I'm sorry, I forgot to shout them out. Naked, thank you for coming in. Please hit that thumbs up and like button. I would appreciate that the next time you come in. Also, super chat me. I would appreciate that as well.
So, no, I mean, again, the machines don't really change. And one thing that I always tell people too, because when I worked for the casino, we worked, I worked all the shifts. I worked mornings, afternoons, evenings, graves, holidays, weekends, weekdays. And I can tell you that jackpots are happening all the time. But the problem is that the average player is not there 24/7, 365. So you really don't know. If you come to the casino and you sit down in a machine and you're playing and you're like, oh, it's ice cold, I'm losing, I'm going home, and you lost all your money and you go home. Well, what you didn't see is like an hour before that, somebody just hit the triple, 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 or whatever the combination may be. So, really, it's kind of one of those things of, it's gambling. I mean, there's not any really, the casino's not tightening or loosening any machines. That's just how the machines are. I did an interview with a gaming commissioner and slot employees recently on my channel, which is phenomenal because it was very hard to get that interview. And the guy had a great saying. He's like, look, the slot machines are going to do what they're going to do. So whether, it's all about your timing. Whether you're there whether you're there playing and you happen to hit it, great. If not,
Exactly.
it's just how the machines are.
Exactly. Melly loves slots. Thank you for being here, Melly. I really appreciate that. BD Slots, I appreciate you guys coming in. Thank you. Appreciate the love. Hashtag love RhinoMan. Spread it out. Love that. Love that hashtag. And Little Dutchy, thank you so much. Okay, we've talked about gambling, and we're going to continue to talk about gambling. But I would like to jump onto your channel real quick, just to get an idea of when you started. You started in February. Can you
Right.
tell us why you started your slot channel?
So originally I actually was watching Stacy's High Limit Slots and NJ Slot Guy. And watching them play, I was like, oh wow, this is really cool. And I kind of started watching them every night and stuff like that, and keeping up on it. And then I started talking to Stacy, and I was like, maybe I should do like a little video and put a video out there. So I put a little video out there. I made it really quick. I made it on my phone, didn't think anything of it, had no intention of starting a channel whatsoever. I just did a really quick video about, a little bit about slot machines, put it out there, and went to bed and forgot about it. And then I noticed that, the channel starting to pick up a little bit more and a little bit more. And then overnight it was, 10,000 subscribers in one day. And I was like, okay, well, this is crazy. And then I
Wait,
started to dive a little bit more deeper into it and keep going.
wait. Everybody that's in the chat right now, at least a good 80% of them, they either have slot channels, or they're trying to do slot channels, or they're thinking about slot channels. And all of the people that I've talked to and interviewed and everything else, they they say that that's what they're looking for, the algorithm, this magic thing. And you went to bed and woke up with 10K in subscribers, and you
Pretty
didn't buy
much.
them.
Yeah. It
And you
was
didn't
a
buy
matter
them.
of
They just showed up.
well, so here's the thing too. And Stacy and NJ, if NJ's still in the chat, he can even tell you this. I knew nothing about YouTube at all, and I had no intention on starting a channel or building anything out of it. I really just did the first video for fun. And all it took was, one person shared the at just the right place at just the right time, and it just so happened to take off. And it kind of really took me for shock because I had no intention of doing it. And when I say I knew nothing about YouTube, I knew nothing about YouTube. I had, I didn't even, when I made my first videos, I didn't even have a channel name in mind. I didn't have a channel set up, nothing like that. And even I was confused because it took me 1 week to get monetized, just 1 week, and I had no
Wow.
clue but I didn't even know what monetization was. When I first started my channel, I had no clue that you could even be monetized on it. So I had to ask Stacy, and I sent Stacy an email, and I was like, hey, I called her up too, and I'm like, hey, what is this monetization thing? I have no clue about it. And she's like, you got that after a week? That's crazy. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I've never used YouTube before, so this is all new to me, and I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Every day. And, obviously with the amount of growth that the channel has had, I've had to learn a lot quicker and devote a lot more time to it. It's not something that I ever had planned on doing. But, as for like the other slot channels and stuff like that out there watching, my advice to them would just be to, keep doing what you're doing, devote towards quality, devote towards something new that people want to really see. And it just takes one. It really just takes one video, one share. Encourage your audience to share those videos and get those videos out there to more places. Diversify. I know a lot of people are starting TikTok now, or Facebook, or so on and so forth. But no, it's crazy. And I really had no clue the amount of growth that the channel would have, and it surprises me even still to this day.
Wow, that's amazing. Akaika Stewart, thank you for coming in from Hawaii, Honolulu, Hawaii. My daughter is moving out there in August. Can't wait. I'll have to travel out there. The bad thing is you guys don't have casinos. Let me know where the underground casinos are in Hawaii so we could go visit those. Or even if they have the Pasoi or the Pasoi card clubs, let me know. Um, bro, I hate you. I hate you. I've been doing this for almost 2 years now, and you wake up and you have 10K, or now 6 months into it, you have 40K. I love you, bro. I wish you the best of luck. But I want everybody to know that along with the the 60K that you've gotten over 6 months, there has been a massive learning curve for you because you are learning automatically as you're going. Whereas a lot of the channels that grow to a certain point, they have a lot more developed time and learning before one of their videos catches on. You know what I mean? So I think you're going through some growing pains, but those are some good growing pains to go through for sure.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. That's
Yeah.
true because from me going from having no clue how to work YouTube at all to now it's a daily thing where I get hundreds of messages a day, hundreds of comments a day. I just started, and that's another thing too. When I started my channel, I had the goal that I wanted all of my information to always be free. There's no reason to charge for any kind of slot methods or anything like that out there. I thought, when I started seeing other people charging for methods, that really struck a chord with me. And I had gotten some messages from people, and they're like, "Hey, I paid this other channel, $400 to learn the same, to learn worse tips from
Can
them than from you, and I'm getting it for free."
Can I
So
stop you right there
yeah,
just real quick? I don't mean to interrupt you, but I do want to touch on this topic, and I'll let you continue on as we go.
yeah,
But
for sure,
here's the thing: running a channel for everybody out there that's a viewer that's watching the channel, yes, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of everything. There are ways you can support the channel. Some ways don't involve any cost at all, which are liking, subscribing, sharing out videos. Those cost nothing, and they show so much support to the creator of the content that you're watching. Those are some of the best ways you could support a channel. The other way is if they have memberships, if you want to super chat them, if they have merchandise. Those are good ways to support a channel that you like watching, that is giving you entertainment. That is something that you could do to give back to them. By no means, if anybody is trying to sell you something that is just way beyond belief, don't fall for it. I mean, I can't tell
absolutely.
you enough. There are no tips to win on slot machines that you would need to pay for. If they could win on slot machines by a tip or a trick, why would they be selling it to you? Hey,
Exactly.
okay, you could
Exactly.
continue on your rant
And
on there, but I shut your
one thing
mouth.
that I always, one thing that I always like to tell people too is, guys, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. There's a lot of, there's a lot of channels out there. There's not even YouTube channels, but there's, websites and stuff like that that say, "Oh, I will guarantee that you'll get a jackpot. You just have to pay me $500 and I'll tell you how." Don't fall for that. There is no
Exactly.
guarantee to slot machines. And that's one of the main reasons that kept me going. And after I had gotten that message from a viewer that was like, I just paid this other person like, four or $500, and now I'm learning more information from you and it's free. This is not information that you have to pay for. And I've always said from the beginning that on the Cowboy Slot channel, we will always be free. We're not ever going to we will never charge for information. This is all information that I'm happy to bring to the viewers, that I want to share, that I enjoy sharing. There's absolutely no reason to charge for it. So, that, and then I want to make things very fun and very easy to understand. I break things down. I give a lot of examples on my channel. I break things down to where, if you're not familiar with the casino at all, to where it's easier to understand. And we don't have any, we don't push any myths or anything like that. Just recently on the channel, which I've got to give a shout out to Home Slots Fun, Mark over there at Home Slots Fun. He's recently come on my channel as a co-host. He has been an extreme extreme help and a valuable resource. And we have so much fun doing it. And one of the things that Mark and I have started doing, we do an open forum every single Sunday. Every Sunday you can come on my channel and we will actually do live Q&A, and we cover a topic, and it's both Mark and myself, and Mark has a lot of experience with slot machines too, especially top dollar. And
Okay.
one thing that we've started doing recently on the Cowboy Slot channel is we're taking it a step further, and we want to verify our own information. So it's not just so you're not hearing it just from us. So we're actually, what I'm doing now is sending out all videos prior to being posted to actually get double checked by other industry experts, which is something really new and cool. And I'm sorry, my dogs are going crazy. I don't know why,
Hey,
but
you heard mine a few minutes ago. It's
right.
it's all good. But obviously, I know that it's not Amazon coming to your door uh, for a good thing. This naked guy does not quit. Hey, I love him in here. He's got to start super chatting me sooner or later. Keep coming into the lives. I don't mind as long as you're super chatting. It's all good. Um, but going back to that, the work, and I talk about a lot of channels that put in the extra work. Slotaholic comes to mind, just off the top of my head. The work he puts into his videos, and putting all the details and everything into it. You're doing something similar. However, you're going the extra step, since you are taken out of being a current slot tech. You are pushing your videos back to current slot techs, having them review it to make sure that everything's on the up and up before you post it.
Exactly. And that's just one extra step that we're taking. When I first started when I first started my channel, I made the videos, very quick with my cell phone, sitting here in my office. And I obviously I look back now and I'm like, I wish I would have, said this or done more detail this. And now that the channel's grown, it's given me such an opportunity to be able to make new videos, better videos, higher quality videos. And one of the biggest things that we're doing now is, again, I send all of my videos out to current employees. I have several friends that they currently work for class 3 facilities, class 2 facilities, even like some casino managers, Mark, all of these people. When I make a video, I send it to them first and they review it. And if something's wrong, if something's not right, or if they're like, oh, maybe say this instead of this, they'll kick it back to me. So that's one thing that we're taking it a step further, is it's not just my word now, which is really cool, is I'm fact checking myself before I even put the content out. And that's something that's really special about our channel.
That is awesome. And I think I just lost a viewer because Randy the Slot Wizard says, cowboy slots in cowboy movies, I always root for the good guy, the guy with the white hat over the bad guy, the cowboy in the black hat. Sorry, Rhino. Hey, bro. Thank you, Randy. I can always depend on you.
And
What
hey,
edit?
there's a reason for the white cowboy hat, because so here in Wyoming, actually, most of the homes here in Wyoming, we do not have air conditioning. And right now it's about 80 degrees outside. And even though I have the window open, there's not a big breeze. So this cowboy hat is a lot lighter and a lot more cooling than the black felt hat. So that's where I got the white one on today.
Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you for trying to make me feel better after Randy hurt my feelings. Um, BD Slots wants to know, what editing programs does everyone use? Um, do you use? I'll let you answer first, and then I'll tell them which one I use.
Yeah. So right now I just use iMovie on my MacBook. That's all I use. I will say this. I'm always looking for new editing programs. I've tried a couple, again, I'm not a video editor myself. And being, the new guy to YouTube, I have to start looking for some of these other programs and stuff like that. And I've tried like Final Cut Pro and everything, but to me it was a little complicated to figure out everything. So I just tried, started doing some experiments with green screens and all that. So, I'm growing. That's for sure. But right now I just use iMovie for my stuff.
Fantastic. My son is in the chat. Thank you. What's going on, Duncan? I appreciate you being here. BD Slots. What I use is I use Shotcut. Hey, it's a free software. It's really good. Has a few quirks, but it's easy to use, easy to learn. And if you spend a few minutes, it's good. My son says Final Cut is worth it. He does a lot of editing on videos as well. He's the one that actually got me started in YouTube way back when. He was like 11 years old and he was doing Minecraft and he was trying to do this and he kept telling me, Dad, I'm going to be monetized on YouTube. I'm going to do this. You're going to have to sign this. And I wished at that time I would have paid more attention to him because I would have pushed him in the direction to go ahead and do it. He went on to college, did a lot of other things, and now he's doing his own thing. So, yeah, he says Final Cut. I use Shotcut. It's the free version. Not really, not really going to cost you anything. I would say start with Shotcut and then move your way up. Can hurt. If you like it, then you can move up to Final Cut.
Yeah, I think I'll have to take a class or something for Final Cut because it's. I know all about. I can use Photoshop, but I can't use Final Cut. I'll have to take a class on that one.
Well, play around with Shotcut, the free version.
I'll definitely have to check that out for sure.
So, what has been the hardest part for you as far as YouTube goes?
Probably the hardest part for me about YouTube is especially growing so fast because again, when I started the channel, I had just put in, one little video out there and it blew up and now I've got this giant channel. It's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot to keep up with. And obviously, to keep the growth going, you have to start expanding more and, getting into more and doing more. And living so remote in Wyoming, it's hard because, I have to make those long trips to the casino and, I have to plan everything out and really just the time, the time consumption. It's difficult because, we get hundreds of messages a day. And I always tell people like, I'm just one guy, I'm not, even though my channel has a big number attached to it, for somebody new that's coming in, just because my channel has a big number attached to it, I'm still adapting to that. So it's hard for me to, answer hundreds and hundreds of messages a day and be able to go through all of that. I try my hardest to do, but that's probably the biggest challenge is just keeping up with the number.
That's a problem that I would enjoy having, especially at the stage that I'm at right now. Mark Anthony, thank you for coming in. Really appreciate it. Shake your bonbons. Hey, appreciate you coming in. So that's the hardest part, keeping up with the numbers. You're averaging about what 200 plus new subscribers a day, correct?
Yeah. So Cowboy Slots right now is averaging about anywhere from 1 to 300, but the average is about 200 new subscribers each day.
Okay, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
I think our lowest day, and I always, so again, it's just me, but I always address the channel as we because it's really, I consider it, my viewers' channel because they created this more than I did. And I wouldn't be here without my viewer base. So every time I address my channel, I always address it as we because it's our channel. It belongs to them more than it does to me. And no, it's just keeping up with those numbers is really, really difficult to do.
Yeah, no, I understand. Hezekiah, thank you for coming in. Really appreciate you being in here. That is hard keeping up with that kind of growth without, I would say, poor me problems. I got 200 subscribers today. Oh, I'm growing so fast. Oh, but in essence,
I'm happy. It makes me happy.
No, there is truth to that. If you think about it, as a lot of creators do, they grow over time. So they get used to interacting with people that are leaving comments. So it becomes easier for them to respond to 30 comments, 40 comments, 50 comments a day as they grow. Um, you didn't have that luxury of you know learning how to do that, how to balance everything. You were just jumped in, bam. Now you got to respond to 1,000. Somebody had asked, "Do you ever do live streams?"
Yes, I do. Each and every Sunday. Every single Sunday, come on over to our channel. It's Mark from Home Slots Fun. He co-hosts it with me. We've made a lot of changes to the live streams. It's an entirely open forum Q&A. So as long as you're subscribed to the channel, you can ask questions. And we do get flooded with a lot of questions on those live streams, but we try our best to answer them all. And we'll have a topic each week that we cover as well with that Q&A. But it's entirely open forum, and you can. There's two of us techs on there, so you can ask us anything. And if one don't know it, the other one does, and or we can answer it together. And we always check each other, so it's great. It's a lot of fun. And my live streams normally run for an hour, and they typically will start at noon. But this Sunday, I think we're going to start a little bit later. We've got some stuff going on, so we're going to start probably around 1. This upcoming Sunday. But yes, please do head over to the channel. We do live streams every single Sunday.
Okay, that's fantastic. So I don't think I asked you this in the gambling portion, but what is your biggest win on the slot machine?
My biggest win. My largest single win was 20,000, and my largest daily take that I made in a day was 85,000, and that was including that 20.
You say take in a day.
Yeah. What I came home with after a day of gambling, single win off of one hit would be 20,000. And then for, a day of gambling coming home would be about 85,000. And that's my biggest. And that was way before the days of recording. I wish I could have recorded that, because I got on that 20,000, I got the triple on triple diamond. So that would have been a really awesome one to record. And that's one thing that I tell people too. A lot of people don't know this, and I've mentioned this on my channel a couple times. The double diamond slot machines, real classic. I've got 2 of them right here behind me. Well, actually, they're both triple diamond, but the double diamond version and also the triple diamond version, those hit the top line constantly, all the time. It is so common to get double and triple on those machines. So I'd always tell people, I'm like, if you're going to play high limits, go to that old school double diamond machine, because there's a really good chance that you're probably going to hit that top line.
Okay. I'm laughing right now because Randy the Slot Wizard says he's a real cowboy. He's rode one of those rocking horses at one point in time, and he'll do it every now and then and time again. So does that make him a real cowboy? He just wants to know.
Does. That takes some skill right there to do that. That takes a lot of skill to do that.
So your co-host on your show, Home Slots Fun, are they a current well, they obviously can't be a current tech, but they were a tech. Did you work with him in the past?
No, so him and I have never worked together. We've never worked together, but he has worked on a lot of machines. He is extremely knowledgeable. He's the best invaluable resource that I've ever had. I mean, he's a great guy. He helps with the channel so much, and I'm really appreciative for him for that.
Okay. Joe S says, I don't buy the statement that casinos set it and forget it. There's money involved. There's nefarious things happening. Hey, I don't know. It's just like, everything else that's going on in the world. Go ahead.
Here's the thing, and we've talked about this before, and I always mention it. If you honestly believe that the casino is out to get you, and that the games are rigged, and that there's something bad going on behind the scenes, and if you honestly believe that the casino is out to do that, why are you there? Why are you there? I mean, honest though, like, I mean, if that's, I mean, if you believe that the casino is this giant, evil place that's going to take you for all you're worth, and the odds
Because I
are
got to get
stacked,
content.
yeah, like,
Because I got to get content. That's why I'm there. No,
yeah.
I
But
get it.
and the thing is it's not, it's not the fault of, it's not the fault of a lot of people, because the casino, again, they did it to themselves. They created this aura of mystery, and they put that, iron shield up that nobody would, is able to see behind, and they created that.
And
And
Joe S just responded, bro. I am right there with you. I am exactly that same degen. That hey, they could tell me that
oh
there's no
yeah.
button. I believe it, but they're not going to turn it on for me. But I'm going to play, and I'm going to play with my card in, and I'm going to pull it out so they don't know it's me. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
um, we're all in the same boat, people. I agree.
And I mean, hey,
Um,
I have had my fair share of bad casinos and bad casino days too. And, that's why I tell people, you can't win all the time, but, I tell you, like, I have my days too, where I walk out of a casino and I'm like, hey, screw this place. Da, 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 da. I've had my days like that. And also a big shout out to the DGen Nation too. I mean, gotta love NJ Slot Guy, Top Dollar Mike, all those guys. I
I,
can't wait. I cannot wait to get out there to the East Coast and meet everybody. Um,
I'm
you know, it's
I'm just trying to figure out what the criteria is to be inducted into the DGen Hall of Fame, like those guys you just mentioned. Hey, I'm trying to get there.
Yeah, it's
So
they're a great group of people. I love those guys. I love watching Top Dollar Mike's channel, NJ Slot Guy's channel. All of those East Coast channels. I love them. I watch them all the time.
so do I. I was introduced to him earlier, and then when I had NJ on the show, man, that guy is literally like a brother from another mother. Same mindset, everything. Um, Little Dutchy wants to know, Cowboy Slots, you have got to be one of the luckiest people I have ever heard of. You must have been born under a lucky star. Do
You
you?
know, I don't really think that I'm the luckiest person in the world, or anything like that. I just I do my thing, and if it makes people happy, it makes people happy, and as long as other people are happy, I'm happy. Um, but as for luck, I don't know about that.
So Hezekiah wants to know: do you think these games could be hacked or mod in these games?
So it's extremely difficult. So like I always tell people, gambling is more regulated than alcohol and tobacco combined. There are so many layers. I mean, you got to think, you have the casinos, which are, multi-billion dollar industry, and then you have the manufacturers, which are multi-billion dollar industry, and they spend millions of dollars a year at the manufacturer, at the casino. They spend millions of dollars a year constantly making sure that nothing can be altered. And even when the machines are built at the manufacturers, it's built into the program, all of these locks and roadblocks and security measures and features, to where it makes it pretty much impenetrable, impossible. There's a lot of machines, out there. People think that they can, you know, that there's some magic trick behind them, or they can do something to the machine or anything like that. And it's like, you got to understand, these manufacturers, they spent billions of dollars to make sure that could not happen, and they put them through insane rigorous tests. And that's why a lot of these machines, they require a physical presence to do things like change the odds. So in order to change the odds on a machine, the casino has to have a physical chip and an actual person there. And then there's the laws and the regulations that say who has to be there, what the process is to get the chip. And there's so many safeguards built into that. And like I said, I mean, guys, I'm telling you, when I worked
But
for the casino, it was, we weren't allowed to have pockets on our pants. We had to turn our phones in at security every morning. We couldn't even have our phones with us. I mean, the measures are insane that these businesses go through. So can the
it
machines
would
go back modded? No.
Now, that security is pretty well, but I worked for a crack dealer and we had to dress naked before we got. I'm just joking, guys. Hey, but I did see a documentary where these 11 guys robbed the casinos. The documentary was called Ocean's 11. And
I
so
think I've seen
there
that
are
one
ways
too.
there
True
are
story.
ways to do it if you have millions of dollars to do it. You could rob the casino, or fix something. Obviously, with money, you could probably do anything. Penny D says, I have to know the combo to the high limit bathroom at the Golden Nugget. All DGens know that. Hey, I'll see if I could get NJ or Top Dollar Mike to send me that. Uh, she bets 5280 say, did you know people in the slot community before you started your channel?
I did, actually. So the first person that I ever talked to in the slot community was Stacy of Stacy's High Limit Slots, and she was actually one of the first channels that I ever watched, and she was playing these great machines that I love to play. I could relate to her because she was playing the games that I liked, and so I was like, "Oh, this is cool." And then I got in touch with NJ Slot Guy, and we started talking, and he was the second person that I ever got to know in the slot community. And I've had the opportunity to meet Stacy and Greg and actually play slots with them in Las Vegas. It was a great time. I have yet to meet NJ, which NJ and I talked on the phone earlier today, and I was like, I've got to get out there and meet you and Top Dollar Mike and Old School Slots and all these other channels that I watch all the time. And I would say the biggest channels that I watch, of course, are Stacy and NJ, but also Top Dollar Mike, Old School Slots. Those channels are the ones that I watch a lot of, and of course, RhinoMan. You got to watch RhinoMan.
Hey, thank you for putting me in that illustrious group of channels. I enjoy watching all of those channels as well. Joe S says, I got one for you. I emailed the VP of one of my local casinos. Basically, I said, I'm stopping play due to the number of hand pays in 3 years. 2 visits later, hand pay. How about that? Um,
Well, it's always coincidence. I mean, what game were you playing? How much were you betting? I mean, you got to take all of that into consideration as well. Some games hit a lot more frequently than other games do. Some denominations do better than other denominations do. So, again, there's a lot of factors, but again, the casino cannot change or alter the machines in any way for a particular person or remotely or anything like that. It just simply does not happen. So, trust
yeah.
me, if they could, because I know a lot of I know a lot of casino managers at casinos outside of Wyoming, and they watch my channel too. And a lot of them, I'll send the videos to them to just cross check and make sure everything is okay and make sure all of the information is correct. And trust me, if they could flip a switch, I wish they would do it for me. But no, there's no switch and they can't do it. So
I wish they would do it for me as well.
right?
Bro, I could go on with you for another hour easy. But I'm gonna get into quick hits right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, quick hits, I'm gonna give you some scenarios. You say which one you would choose. Um, and we'll go down through that. Okay, number one, sort by price or sort by rating.
Rating
Okay. Sauce on the side or sauce on top?
on the side.
Okay. Winning the lottery or finding your soulmate?
Soulmate.
Okay. Guacamole or salsa?
Salsa. I hate guacamole.
Okay. Um, cooking or being cooked for?
Being cooked for. I'm not a good cook.
Okay. Pizza or Chinese?
Pizza.
Okay. Ribeye or T-bone?
Mm, T-bone.
Okay. Introvert or extrovert?
Introvert for me, for sure.
Okay. Now wait, that's interesting because you have a slot channel. And you're not the first person that I met that's like this.
Yep.
Melvin Lopez says, let's go Cowboys. Let's go. But you're not the first channel that I've met that's like that. that is an introvert, but they are doing something that's totally extrovert type of activity.
Yeah, it's funny. I've been like that my whole life. I have a very difficult time coming out of my comfort bubble, and that's part of the reason why I love living where I live, because it's so remote and quiet. But you know, I can come on, I can make some great videos, and this is my extrovert coming out, and then I can turn the computer off, turn the phone off, go outside, and there's not another person for 100 miles, and I can live like that. So
Hey,
even times when I go to Vegas or somewhere really busy, I go to I'll go down to the casino, and then when I go to the casino, like I'll find like the quietest area, like furthest away from people. Like I'll try to like sneak around. So sometimes if I'm at the casino, especially now with the channel, I'm getting recognized a lot more. I'm getting
yeah,
recognized a lot more places, and so sometimes, if I have the opportunity to, go to like a big casino, like if I go to Vegas or anything, there are a lot of times like I might go way off strip at 3 o'clock in the morning and go play in like some little quiet high limit room and not even record, just to
oh,
just to
okay,
get
yeah,
my introvert time a little bit.
exactly. Okay, let's continue down this path. Words
Yeah.
or actions?
Actions.
Okay, pause time or rewind time?
mm, Pause time.
Okay, concert or sporting events?
hmm. Neither, but if I had to choose, probably sporting event.
Okay, you don't go to concerts?
I don't go to
Garth Brooks?
concerts.
No, no, no Garth Brooks. No. Okay. Um, wash dishes immediately or wait for a full sink of dishes?
Immediately.
Okay. Um, bar soap or body wash?
Body wash.
Okay. Last four questions for you.
All right.
If somebody said, "Hey, I'm going to give you your dream car," what is it?
I wouldn't accept it.
You wouldn't accept it.
No.
Okay.
I've got this really old beat up Dodge Ram truck. It's my
Okay.
favorite truck. I've worked on it I've done all the work to it myself. It's got 150,000 miles on it. It's a big old beast. It's lifted. And I've had people offer me good money for it, and they're like, "Oh, I'll buy your truck for way more than it's worth." And I will not get rid of that thing. I'm going to drive it until it dies. And
Okay. So,
if I had all the money in the world, I would still have my same old truck.
okay, guys, there you go. That answers the question. Is he a true cowboy? That answers it. Cowboys love their horses, trucks, and hats. Boots. I'm sure he's got his boots on too.
I've got
Um,
tons.
but yeah, that's good. Okay. Best restaurant you've ever ate at?
hmm. Probably the steakhouse at Aria.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was phenomenal. It blew me away. The Japanese Wagyu beef that they had there, I had never had like Wagyu beef like that, and it was so good.
Okay.
It cut like butter. It was so good, tasty. Like next time
Hey,
I got to start playing at Aria more so I can get some comps to eat there again.
for sure. Or do an interview with them and have them comp you the whole tour and restaurant at the same time.
Right.
If somebody was coming to Wyoming, aside from the bar that has the two skills games, where would you recommend they ate?
That they ate.
Yeah, that they went a restaurant you would recommend to somebody in Wyoming.
Well, I mean, if they came around here, we have, all of our restaurants are mom and pop shops, and we've got some really great ones in town. We have a Mexican restaurant here that's really good, but
Wait,
as
hold on.
for
Hold on. You have a Mexican restaurant there?
we do, we
Okay,
have a Mexican restaurant in town.
Gamblers Unknown. You think you live isolated? Gamblers Unknown says the only Mexican restaurant he has near him is Taco Bell. So you're doing much better than he is for sure.
We don't have any fast food in our town.
Okay.
The closest McDonald's is about an hour and a half away. That's
Okay.
the closest fast food restaurant.
Okay. Well, I have one more this or that question. Randy the Slot Wizard wants to know tequila or whiskey.
I cannot stand tequila. It is whiskey all the way.
There you go, Randy. Just for you. Um, okay. What is the last one? What is the best thing you've ever ate?
Wow. Huh.
Keep it clean, Randy.
Oh, the best thing I've ever eaten. It would probably be when I went to go visit family over in Ireland. Probably their cooking
Don't
over
say
there.
haggis.
No, not haggis. I was their shepherd's pie. That was so
Okay.
good.
Nene Slots, thank you for coming in. Hey, I appreciate you coming on the show. Is there any last words you would like to tell everybody out there that's watching right now or that will watch this in the near future?
Yeah, well, first off, I appreciate you having me on the show. I think it was a lot of fun, and I enjoy watching your show. And just like we talked about, just support everybody, support other slot channels. If I had
Oh,
to
yeah.
say one thing to the entire slot community, it would be that there is no competition with slot channels. If somebody is going to watch one channel, they're going to watch them all. So
Exactly.
don't focus on seeing other people as competitors, because we're not competitors, and we should all be friends, and we should all work together. And like, yeah, just keep in touch, support each other, support your other channels, and watch their videos, and give them shout outs, and it help everybody.
I agree 100%. Hey guys, everybody that came in today, I really appreciate you. If you're just watching this for the first time, you weren't on the live, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you to our guests. Thank you to our participants. Hey, we are having such a great time. I hope you guys will join me tomorrow. Until then, let the good times roll, and we will see you then. Bye, guys.